What's going on? You're listening to the Three Count Podcast. Make sure you follow them on all their social medias at Three Count Podcast with the number three, not the word spelled out. Check out all their interviews and other content. Interviews such as with myself and my partner Jeremy Grimes, Studio 22, and some other lesser ones. They not all their guests are winners, but you watch ours. It was fun. Um, Shout out to my guy Red Dog Cliff.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast. Now entering the ring, I am your co-host because the host is not here, and my name is Clifford Red Dog Miller. And as always, nope, never mind, they're not here. So instead, me and the supervillain Damien Fatal are on the show. Damien, say what's up.
What's up, people?
So, as always, as we say, we have a special guest because this is now entering the ring, and the person entering the ring hails from Goshen, Indiana. This man's name, Jorge Bravo.
That's a better than I
I'm glad, man. I'm glad.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Staying busy. Shoot job, hustling, starting back up. I've been training. Got back to training for the last month and a half since restrictions started opening up. So just kind of keeping busy, trying to stay as active as possible, and just trying to improve my craft while I can. So
I hear that 100%. I'm in the same boat. I'm just like you, just last month and a half, just hitting the ring every Saturday and Sunday, and sometimes on Fridays, and then just do my regular job Monday through Friday, and then whatever I can to stay active and physically fit. So I definitely get it, man. But let's go down these questions, man. First question I have for you is, who is Jorge Bravo?
Jorge Bravo, he is part of me that doesn't come out very often, but when he comes out, he's all business. He's an extension of who I am as a person. So I'm dancing usually in the ring. I'm doing something funny. I'm doing some sort of dancing. I represent, my Latino people when I'm out there, just like I do in real life. And I'm down to get my hands dirty if I have to, and just be who I gotta be. So, but I'm all business. When it comes time to it, bell rings. It's time to go, and I don't leave that ring until I make sure the fans go home happy. Like that's my thing. Jorge Bravo always wants the fans to be happy. He wants something to be memorable. He doesn't have to go through a whole lot just to make a match be like, oh, that stood out. Why did that stand out? Well, because I did it. So that's who Jorge Bravo is.
Bet. All right, just for those asking, right? Because I want to know too. You said representing those of the Latino community. Where at and look up where part of the Latino community? I know you can say it all.
I'm Mexican. Yeah. No, I'm Mexican. I say all. Like I represent like Latinos just in general. But like I'm from Texas originally, so Mexicanos. You know what I mean? Like that's just who I am. So
Yeah, so a lot of people like you can't see it because like I look like a ghost, pasty white, but estoy panameño. So the Panama, so bring it. All right, man. So next question for you, man, is who's your biggest inspiration, man?
um, growing up, like it was, I would watch it wrestling with my dad, and so of course what always hooked me growing up was like I had the wrestling buddies, and it was always like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, like that. Those were the two that always stood out. And then as I got older, I would watch wrestling with my uncles and sneak in wrestling when I wasn't supposed to watch it. And Eddie just like captivated me. And it wasn't just because he was Latino. Like he was undersized. He was always just like fighting, and it didn't like he got business done. Like he knew how to impress the crowd. He knew how to work, and it was just like he could go with the big dogs. And it was like watching that. It was like, wow, like that's what I want to do. Like that's what I want to be like that. Because I'm 5'8", so I'm not the biggest guy in the ring, but I've been in the ring with bigger people than me. And I always go back to like watching that, like just how to work and just watching and be like, man, he can make me laugh just by like smirking. And it was just, that's just what stood out. That's what inspired me to keep going. So, because I was like, that's like, wow, that was my hero. Like that was my hero. So.
That man, yeah, I as well. Like I'll share a story with you. Like my favorite wrestler of all time is actually Rey Mysterio. So, like, you know, got the great rivalries with those two, like going back and forth. So let me ask, man, what's been your favorite fan interaction?
Favorite fan interaction. Usually for me, fan interaction wise, it's always like if I'm at my merch table, or it's before the show, or it's after the show. I'm always like in character. Like I'm always Jorge Bravo, even when I'm not like at a show. That's just when I see the fans. That's who I am, and they recognize me like in the store or somewhere, or they'll come say hi to me, and it's just that it's. I wouldn't say like there's one specific thing, but it's every time I see a fan that recognizes me, and I take 5 minutes out of my time that I'm busy doing something to make sure that they had like a good experience, whether that's taking a picture with them in a restaurant or like maybe running into each other, like job wise, stuff like that. It's always the fact that, hey, it's Jorge, and next they're talking about their family, they're bringing people to the show, they're meeting me, and it's a continual progression that way. I tend to make sure that my are always feel like they're a part of the show as best I can. Sometimes when I do my entrance, I dance with some of them or get them involved, stuff like that. But it's just always that for me. It's just making sure each and every one of them feel like they're a part of something. Because I've seen some guys where they'll like say hi to one or two and leave the rest out. Well, I don't want them to feel like, like he has his favorites. No, these people pay their hard-earned money to watch us perform, watch me, cheer me, boo me, whatever. And I want to make sure that they go home. Whether they booed me and I heckle them back or whatever, like just that part of the fan interaction is what always means the most to me. So.
All right, bet, man. So another question I'm going to ask you, man, is what's the worst bump you've ever taken?
Oh my gosh. Hands down. I took a razor's edge from the top rope. I was positioned on the top rope. I took a razor's edge from Madman Fulton. Like, he put me up on the second, carried me. And Fulton's a monster. Like, Madman Fulton's like, I want to say easily 6'7", 6'8". And he, like, lifted me like I didn't weigh nothing. I'm 245, 250. And he just hoisted me like I didn't. Like, I was just, like, a leaf in the wind. And he came down with me, and I was like, oh, why did I say yes? Why? I probably had my bell on that one. That was probably the worst bump I've ever taken. That one, and I want to say there's it's usually a tie. I was in a 5-man match for a new title at a show in Warsaw, Indiana, FWF, and getting around the ring. There's nothing. There's three guys. Superplex to the outside, in which nobody caught me. Literally, like, straight to the floor. Nobody caught me. Yeah, that was... those two are up there. Those two are up there. If anybody wants video footage, good, it's on my YouTube. I'll get to that later. But it was probably those two are probably the worst bumps I've ever taken. So
so besides bumps, what's the hardest you've ever been hit?
I want to say I want to say the hardest I've ever been hit was I took enziguri from a guy, and like this dude had lead feet. Rocked me right in the back of the head. Like, didn't pull back. He just went boom, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, it's one of those things where like you start figuring out like who you want to take tips from after a while. Once you start working with some of these people, you're like, yeah, we're gonna go with something different. How about that? But yeah, so
my last question for you is, what's the end goal for Jorge Bravo?
honestly, and I've been talking about this with people close to me. The end goal is to make wrestling full time. I'm 34. I started late. I started training when I was 29. I'm 34 now. The goal for me is to make it full time. So, as I was talking to people, I plan on January to move to Florida for about 8 weeks. I'm going to go down and continue my training with Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze. And it's just an 8-week course. They train 5-6 days a week for about 4 or 5 hours a day. And hopefully being in that arena helps me a little bit more, push myself out there, be recognized by guys that are on TV, use their contact, their info, their knowledge, and try to push myself to go wherever I want, wherever I can go, as far as I can go, as long as I can take it. That's the end goal. I'm a single that, like I tell people, I don't want to work 9 hours, 10 hours, 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, be tired and not be able to enjoy family time. Because that's the important thing to me, is being with my family. So, do what I can while I can and try to make the best of my career is the end goal. So, whether that gets me signed somewhere or not, or it allows me to travel and have it pay my bills, that's the end goal. So.
No, that's cool though, man. Because Flatbacks is a great school. I've seen a lot of people go through. I know it's like an 8-week course, they said.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right, man. They train 5 days a week, and they're in it to win it, And I think it was Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze has said that that like one of the biggest things is that they have their kids like calling matches by week 5. So yeah, I'm very impressed with their school. So yeah, it's great, man.
Oh yeah.
So Damien's up now. So we'll let Damien ask his questions.
All right. My first question is, what is the song that like gets you pumped to like go to the ring?
I used to use a Don Omar song from the Fast Five movie, Dancing with Heroes. Like, I used to use it, and it used to get me high. That used to be my interest music. I used to, like, when I felt it, I could hear the clapping along with it, dancing with it. I could just like feel that energy. That song was probably the one that got me hyped the most, because I could just feel the crowd with the clapping and the foot stomping. Like, I could just, so going out to the ring, that's what hypes me up the most. If I'm training, because I usually have a 2-hour drive to go train. If I'm getting hyped, just I'm listening to anything Eminem wise, anything Just old school hip hop, something that just resonates. I might blast some Tech Nine Show Day just to get in. Yeah, just to get in that like mindset, like it's go time tonight. Like today's it's time to go out there and wrong, just have a good time. So that's what I need to get. So
All right. Cool. All right. What is your favorite wrestling match of all time? Now that could be like you've been in or you've seen.
I mean, I'm not gonna go biased. Like, if I've been in, would probably for me be one night where I wrestled both Madman Fulton and Congo Kong the same night, back-to-back matches. I was out there for like half hour with both of them combined. That I would have been in because I was back and went with that how hard I worked, and I was proud of that. But best match that I've seen growing up, I honestly want to say Ray versus Eddie Hall and Havoc. That match was just like, it inspired. Yeah, it inspired me. Like he had, Ray had the Phantom. He had the Phantom mask on, the outfit. Just that story, that whole storyline back in the WCW days. That match was legit. I mean, they want to say greatest wrestling matches of all. They just want to stick with it. Like, they want to go Randy, whatever. That match hands down, probably great match.
All right. What was the feeling and the first thought you had when you took your first bump, like ever?
The first bump I took ever was, it was like doubt at first because I sat there for a few minutes, like getting ready to do it. I was watching, and you can get the first bump, and I'm one man. Okay, yeah, I know people take that first bump and they're like, oh, like, I don't know. Or they get in their head about it and then hurt themselves and then it scares them. Well, I was raised to literally, like, fear nothing. Like, literally put your head down. If there's something you want to do, put your head down, get it done because that's who we are. Like, that's who we are as, like, the way my parents raised me is there's nothing you can't overcome. Just the ball. And so literally that was in my mind once I did that first ball. Like, I can do this.
All right. And my last question is your top 5 favorite wrestlers.
Oh, top 5. Well, Eddie, of course. Eddie. Rock, honestly, like he was very good at the basic stuff he did. You can go like if you watch, but he was highly entertaining. He knew how to engage the crowd and do the showmanship of it, and that's another thing that's like I love being engaged. I love that feeling. So that's what always drew me. He was hilarious. He was talented, and the way it just flowed with him was awesome. He's up there. I want to say, Austin would be my number 4, and then Taker top 5. That man, I know he just hung it up, and it's kind of weird because that was like my childhood just gone, like when he hung it up. But Taker was a legit professional. Like watching him, like you could tell even in his matches, he was very carefully constructive of how he went about business. So top 5 would have to be those guys right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it, man. That's a great top 5. So just a recap: Eddie, Ray, Rock, Austin, Taker.
Yeah, that's a
Yes,
nice, that's a real nice top 5.
that's an excellent top 5.
Yeah.
All right, man. So now we're gonna get into it with the 10 count questions. So
Ready?
first thought through the mind. Don't worry about it. Can't fail the test.
Okay.
Easy.
All right.
All right. So let's get it started. We're gonna start with our imaginary timer, as Chaz always they say. Ding. See, there it went off. All right. Okay. Cool. First question: SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
The last show you binge watched.
Supernatural.
Favorite color.
Blue.
So I had this question originally as favorite toothpaste, but I changed it up. Favorite Tech Nine song.
Alone. Alone.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm all about that. Too hot or too cold?
Too hot.
Favorite candy?
Snickers.
Favorite holiday?
Halloween.
Last time you laughed out loud?
Today. Literally.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
And last but not least, our favorite question to ask everybody. Favorite curse word?
The F word. That's
Hey,
what I gotta
let's
consider
go.
it now.
You can say it if you want to.
Fuck.
All right, man. So that wraps up what we got going on, man. Why don't you let our listeners know where they can find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube at Jolie Size. I have all my wrestling matches on a playlist. It's public for the people to watch. YouTube, Facebook, Jolie Size. I also have a Jorge Bravo page. You can catch me on there. Instagram, Twitter at Jolie Size. I also have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. So go to prowrestlingtees.com/Cinco de Bravo. I have 2 shirts on there. I've got more merch and more designs coming. You can find me on there.
That, man. So for me, Clifford, the Red Dog Miller, for the supervillain Damien Fatal, this is now entering the ring with Jorge Bravo. And tune in to the next episode. So be there or be somewhere else.
Hey guys, it's the icon Chaz Evans here with the 3 count. If you like this clip that you just seen, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. It's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook it, Photo Bucket, all that. And talk about it. Talk about what you seen. Talk about what you heard. And if you like us a lot, how about you go check us out on all your streaming platforms and make sure to listen to 3 count. Icon out. Bang!